That, my sweet little friends, is beyond wrestling. Welcoming back their highly successful weekly show called Uncharted Territory. This action-packed show offers fans a really unique and visceral look at professional wrestling, both present and future. And what better way to spend a Thursday night than surrounded by the people you love with a couple of cocktails and watching some really incredible wrestling. Capturing the action ringside is so much fun. It really makes you feel like you're a part of the action. And as a photographer, there's really no better feeling than being able to get there on the spot. But one person that I really like that does this incredibly well is a friend of mine, a personal friend of mine, but somebody that I've watched from afar for a little while, and his name is Jon Washer. Jon is an incredibly talented photographer in his own right, but let alone his entire portfolio of professional wrestling work is absolutely incredible. And Jon, I know you're watching. Hey, hope you're doing well. Catch up soon. But Jon does a really great job of capturing these moments that are really, really difficult, making sure that you're on the spot exactly when you need to be. And he does a lot of, backstage stuff, a lot of interpersonal things. And he's certainly one of my biggest inspirations for taking my camera out there and trying to capture some of these moments because, well, it's certainly difficult, that's for sure. But when I go to these shows, I usually carry what I'm filming on right now is my Fuji X-T4 because digital is just a little bit easier in those situations because you don't have the burden of ISOs and wrestling with focus, wrestling with shutter speeds and apertures and all those types of things. Digital is just so much easier, and it's the one time that I will always pick up my digital camera in favor of a film camera whenever I'm shooting wrestling. The high ISO is sort of like the big selling point for digital, at least in this sort of like realm, because you get those sort of dim ambient light. You can jack the ISO up exponentially on this camera and get really usable images. But I shot at ISO 200, which is the dual native ISO, 640 and then 2000. Maybe I'll make a video on that kind of stuff at some other point. But kind of going back and forth between f2.8 to f5.6 and shooting at 1/60th of a second. And the reason why I wanted to shoot at 1/60th of a second, which I'm sure probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense to everyone out there, you're probably wondering, like, shoot at faster shutter speeds, freeze those moments. But I really like to add a little motion blur. I think it adds a little bit more of a cinematic look to the images, and I don't know, just makes it feel like it's kind of coming alive, because it is. So over the last few years, I've taken a lot of images at Beyond Wrestling, and one of my favorite events that they did was an event called Borscht at the Beach. It's a play on a WCW pay-per-view from the 90s called Bash at the Beach. And the main event of Borscht at the Beach was Masha Slamovich. And she's Russian. Borscht is a Russian soup made of beets and cabbage. It's very pungent. It is so stinky and so red. But I shot primarily with my OM4 Ti with some Lomo 800, which I overexposed to full stop. And I got these really incredible images. I shot 3 rolls of Lomo 800. I had over 100 images to edit and scan and develop, and it was kind of a chore, but I'm in love with the images, and I really wanted to be able to showcase some of them in this video. And yeah, these are all sort of my favorites. They're just beautiful. This is why film is so unique. The colors, the textures, everything about film is just perfect. Emily and I started going to Beyond Wrestling back in 2019. It was sort of spur of the moment. I had a friend who was like, hey, did you know that there's really cool wrestling going on in Worcester? And I was like, no. And he was like, you should come. And that's what we did. And we've been going back as much as we possibly can. And Uncharted Territory, obviously their weekly series, was put on hold with COVID-19, but now it's back. It's better than ever. And just in time for me to be working second shift during those Thursday nights. I'll be sick those days. I absolutely love the people that I go with, and I wanted to capture as many images of those people as much as I can because they make the entire experience what it really is. So as you guys know, I take you on my journeys through photography, mostly film-based, showing you my process and all that stuff. And I try to show you guys as much of my personal life as I can, but I always keep some of that stuff hidden. And wrestling for me is something that I grew up watching and grew up loving. And this is a really great way to show you guys a little bit of my personal side, to show you what it's like outside of YouTube. You know, I just go out and I take pictures, and whether I put it on YouTube or not, it's all about having fun. And that's something that me and Emily, my brother Paul came for the first time tonight, my niece Tia, we have a bunch of friends that go. It's just so much fun. And when you can find a way to mix your two favorite passions, wrestling and photography, not necessarily in that order, it's a really special moment. And I had a lot of fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me for a little bit, watching some wrestling, and yeah, just chilling. But back to regularly scheduled broadcasting in the next couple of weeks. I've got a lot of videos planned, and I've got a lot of editing to do. So let me get after it, and you guys go chill and have a coffee. It's only 9 a.m. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. On Halloween night 2019, the king of ultra-violent wrestling, the God, Nick effing Gage, which I'm sure some of you may be familiar with. He had a really incredible promo to sort of end the night, and it was just the perfect cap to the weirdest night of wrestling, but probably one of my favorite nights of wrestling. Everybody there was in costume, and it was just so beyond wrestling, and one of my favorite moments.
Beyond wrestling is getting the point. The fucking boys in the back are getting the point. That fucking MDK gang runs beyond wrestling. The difference between me and the rest of them motherfuckers, I don't give a fuck if I live or die. I am the god of ultra-violent wrestling. I'm the one that made this fucking shit up. I'm the one that did the line tubes. I'm the one that did the thumbtacks. I'm the best in the fucking world. The energy that you motherfuckers give me makes me get in this ring and do this shit. Don't you ever fucking forget that. So as long as you motherfuckers chant MDK, I'm gonna keep going until it murders me, or I can't do this shit no more.